So today I really got to talk about the egg shortage going on in the world right now, which we're being told is a pandemic of chicken, and no, it's not COVID. A lot of people have also dug into the conspiracy of it. And there's a lot of evidence pointing to corporations committing fraud for profit and sabotaging the little guy. And of course, most people don't even know what's going on at all. So that's why I want to talk about this egg shortage thing, and as of right now, it's being blamed on the avian flu, which you may have also heard being referred to as the bird flu. And they're saying it's currently hitting the United States as of this past year after going through Europe and parts of Asia, and has reportedly spread through 47 states and caused the execution of over 58 million chickens in the US. Also in Japan, they report that they are running out of space to bury the chickens they killed because of this flu, supposedly. But it's not because all those chickens had bird flu, it's because most were called in entirely. If only one was sick, the whole establishment was presumed sick, and they offed them all. So that's basically the reason that most governments are running with to why we're currently having a shortage of eggs in stores, which has caused prices to double and even triple in some places. And I'm sure some of you noticed. Or some might have just thought, oh, it's just inflation. But let's look at this more closely. So the avian flu, which, you guessed it, started in good old China back in 1996, where birds who caught it then flew around, spreading it all over the world. And recently it surged and evolved because in the past the virus would die from hot weather, but it survived the last summer and this time even spread to foxes, raccoons, bears, and other forest life. Scientists say that climate change has altered the past of many birds, and that's why it's spreading wider these days. But in humans, however, there's been very few cases, and only been one reported death in the last year about an 11-year-old girl in Cambodia. But don't be afraid to cook eggs or chicken. In fact, if you cook something above 165 degrees, you will kill any bird flu virus easy. And the government even wants to vaccinate chickens for the avian, which should be alarming to anyone who eats poultry food because they're already adding a lot of extra additives into the chickens like steroids and growth hormones to make them bigger with a different taste to make it more addictive, and also a vaccine for fowl pox. Also, the feed out there for the public is being reported to make chickens stop laying as many eggs, where farmers claim the chickens won't lay eggs from the additives in the feed, and it seems to only affect the little guys because the big corps like Cargill, Cisco, and Tyson have their own feed. Purina is the big brand a lot of local farmers go to, and guess who bought the feed out right before farmers started complaining? It's none other than Nestle, a company who did the same thing with water and baby formula, which spiked those prices up as well. It's not far-fetched that they are once again up to scheming something. Because for the average man, it's really an upper hand on big corp to raise your own poultry and basically farm your own food. But of course, the majority of us don't have such a luxury or advantage, and we have to settle for what's in stores. And that's exactly what they want. They don't want you providing for yourself because that affects the narrative of their business. These additives and vaccine directly affect us health-wise, and it can only make our diets worse, and with the rising number of cancer over the last 20 years, it can only go higher with moves like that. It's almost like deliberate poisoning of the population for monetary gain. This is also a reason why a lot of people are going vegetarian or pescatarian recently. But if you're someone like me who loves to eat chicken, that's not really a great option. I really don't want to imagine a life without chicken. In fact, I'm probably going to go get some wings right after this. If you go to different countries around the world, you will notice the chicken and the food in general just tastes different from what we are fed here in America. And that's because a lot of these countries are not adding additives like vaccines and steroids to their poultry. It's not huge corporation like in America where health of the regular man quite honestly comes second to the money. And we should all know this just by looking at the existence of Big Pharma. That's another story which we can hopefully get into another time. So this whole thing with the narrative of the bird flu being the reason is very misleading if you think about it, because it has very rarely affected humans outright. And out of the 58 million chickens they kill this year, that's hardly a percentage compared to the 9 billion plus chicken they have at these farms in the US. And that 50-something mil wouldn't do much to the industry, if anything at all, to raise prices over 60%, let alone 3 times what it was just a couple years ago. My theory here is these corporations are colluding with each other to raise the prices by using the bird flu as an excuse to get richer. For example, some of the biggest poultry farms have caught fire overnight and burned down, which definitely has nothing to do with the avian flu, and it's been happening in bunches the last few years, like lots of them, all over the place, and it's always a mystery to why. Supposedly no one knows why it happens, and there hasn't been one case solved. Seems to me that the truth is in the details. Unless we have a mass hero arsonist on the loose who evades detection like a legendary ghost. Also, another way these corporations are fooling us for the extra dollar is by taking medium-sized eggs and calling them large, and doing the same thing with the large eggs and calling them extra large jumbo-sized eggs. And that's a practice that has recently been adapted to raise the prices up as well. Just remember, there's still people in a corporate office somewhere that have never been on a farm coming up with these schemes, because at the end of the day, it's still $1 billion industry, and it's that for a reason. So in conclusion, I'm not buying the avian flu excuse, because we've had it around for some time now and it barely puts a scratch into production. And you could do your own research on everything I talked about here today and come to your own conclusion. But to me, it's just pretty obvious what's going on here. Gotta question these big money hungry corporations like Cargill, Cisco, Tyson, and of course Nestle. They only seem to care about their pockets and not our health or well-being. So stay informed, don't be fooled, and I'll talk to you guys later. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Peace. People in a corporate office somewhere that have never been on a farm coming up with these schemes, because at the end of the day, it's still $1 billion industry, and it's that for a reason. So in conclusion, I'm not buying the avian flu excuse, because we've had it around for some time now and it barely puts a scratch into production. You could do your own research and everything I talked about here today and come to your own conclusion. But to me, it's just pretty obvious what's going on here. Gotta question these big money hungry corporations like Cargill, Cisco, Tyson, and of course Nestle. They only seem to care about their pockets and not our health or well-being. So stay informed, don't be fooled, and I'll talk to you guys later. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.